Hello and welcome to bettingnews.boilsports.com. I'm Leon Blanche and I'm delighted to be joined by our entertainment spokesperson Nicola McGeady. Good afternoon, Nicola. Nicola, the X Factor now is really starting to hot up, and as always each year the show is clouded in controversy after the debacle of last week when one of the judges, Cheryl Cole, decided not to vote. Now, some people are saying it wasn't her fault. How do you stand on this issue?
Yeah, well, she did ask Dermot to come back to her and, she wanted to put it to deadlock, but it was clearly a producer's decision not to do that, and Cheryl's kind of been the scapegoat in this. She's getting the blame and fans are calling for her to be sacked. I think it's a bit harsh. The show wouldn't be the same without Cheryl Cole.
Well, we're going to have a look first at a bit of a novel market that it's been broken today, that it looks like the X Factor now are going to introduce a fifth judge, which of course will eliminate that debacle ever happening again. Surely favourite has to be Pussycat Dolls lead singer Nicole Scherzinger. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Nicole. Forgive me if I haven't. Is she the jolly to come on the X Factor?
Yeah, she's 13 today. She had a stint there as a guest judge on the show and she did a great job. I think she is, as you said earlier, going to maybe put Cheryl in the shade. There'll be a bit of competition, and then where will that leave Danny? She'll be out in the cold altogether. That's very harsh.
Now, anyone else? I know it's Elton John week this week. He's been rumoured to be considering a move onto the panel.
Yeah, well, we've priced him at 8-1 to be the judge because he's always slated the show, and I'm surprised they've actually picked an Elton John themed week, but maybe that is suggesting that he's going to be a judge on it. We'll have to wait and see.
And the final one that's in the public domain is Take That's lead singer Gary Barlow.
Yeah, Gary Barlow's 3-1 to be the fifth judge, although they're now saying that whoever performs on the Sunday night is going to be the judge, so it will rotate each week, which would be interesting.
Like kind of what they did in auditions, have a different judge. And that, I think, will help out the public's perception of the show, because I have to be honest, a lot of people now are thinking it is a little bit rigged, that the exact same people they want to keep in will be kept in until the latter stages.
Yeah, it was a disgrace that Katie was kept in. It was embarrassing, her performance on Sunday night. She fell to the ground. So dramatic. I think it confirms all the tabloid tales about her. She should have went. Clearly the public wanted her to go, but the producers love the publicity.
In one word, who would you like to be the fifth judge?
Ooh, Nicole Scherzinger.
Now, Nicola, we're going to move on to the next elimination, and I'm sure she has to be at least an odds-on shot would be Katie Waissel. I think whatever fans she had last week, they might just have thought, right, enough is enough. I thought it was a pathetic attempt, kneeling down, please don't let me go, whatever she was saying. But how is this guy Wagner still in the competition? I mean, he has not got a note in his head.
I know, and I wouldn't be surprised if Wagner ended up in the final. Clearly these people who hate the X Factor decided, let's boycott the show and make a circus of it and keep Wagner in. He's always going to be one of the favourites to go. He's 11-4, second favourite. But Katie she's odds on at 10-11. She was even money earlier on. She has to go. She can't stay another week. I'm sure she'll be in the bottom two anyway.
No, and if she was in the bottom two, I feel this week, I think the judges will have got fed up looking at her in the bottom two.
Unless Wagner's in the bottom two.
Unless Wagner's in the bottom two, yeah. But as you rightly say, I think the people who don't like the competition are voting to keep him in the competition for as long as possible. Anybody else that maybe Mary was a little bit disappointing last week?
Mary's 10-1 to go. She was disappointing last week, and I think she's running out of steam now at this stage. I don't think she's going to go much further unless she pulls off another winning performance like she had at the start when she sang This Is a Man's World. She got standing ovations in the audience and so
She
on.
may struggle with the Elton John team for this week, because I don't know whether he had any massive, huge songs that would suit Mary's type of vocal ability.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not a big Elton John fan, so I don't know all of his songs, but I'm sure Louis will try and pick the right one.
So for you, who's going to be eliminated?
Oh, it's got to be Katie.
And now, Nicola, finally on to the main event. Who will win this year's X Factor? I have to say, I was absolutely taken aback by the performance by Matt. It was unbelievable. That's one of the best live performances I have ever seen. Last week he was disappointing with the Leona Lewis hit, but this week surely that has shot him straight back up to favouritism.
Yeah, and punters who were clever enough to back him after that Leona Lewis song got him at about 9-4, 5-2 at one stage, and now he's back to 11-8, favourite to win the show. We've seen Rebecca Ferguson's odds plummet as well. She had a great week. She was 9-2 not so long ago. She's now 12-5.
She never really has a bad week, Nicola. I mean, her singing ability is there. She's got that kind of shyness that people at home like to see in a potential pop star, which I think Matt possesses as well. The two of them are not cocky in any way, shape or form. Probably they will be the final two.
Yeah, I would like to see something else from Rebecca, maybe a bit more up of an upbeat song, just to change it, because she does just stand in the one spot all every week. So it would be nice to see something different. One Direction might challenge them as well. They are drifting slightly at 9-2, but there's so many screaming teenage girls out there who love them.
Yeah, and that's, I think we have to have a look at this. When you're having a bet, it's almost like who will the public like over how good their vocal ability is. And One Direction, as you rightly said, they've girls up and down length and breadth of every country cheering for them, because there's 5 young lads who are a pop band. The guy that has stood out for me in the last couple of weeks is Aidan Grimshaw. What's his type of price to win the whole thing?
Yeah, I don't think he's got enough fans out there to win it. He's 20-1. He did have a few off weeks. He's starting to get himself back together again. So we could see another few good performances out of him, and maybe he's a dark horse for the final. And
before we leave the outright, it would be wrong not to mention Mary Byrne. Has her odds drifted because of the lacklustre performance?
Yeah, one stage during the shows she was 6-1. She's now 33-1, same price as Wagner, which isn't good.
No, certainly not good. But you think Matt or Rebecca to win?
It's going to be Matt.
Nicola has said Matt all along. I'm sticking with the Scouse lady, Rebecca, to pull off a shock.